Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to be very clear with ourselves with this practice. And especially it is important for yourself to know little bit deeply why we have to keep practice. So when it comes to this world, if the overall population is more than 8 billion, and people are different each other. There is no exactly the same person like you anywhere in this 8 billion. But still, there is something very common with all of us. That is the greed, hatred, or the anger, and the ignorance or the not knowing reasons. It doesn't matter sometimes you are the president or you are the just ordinary person, and you are a millionaire or the homeless person, you are a well-educated person or you never went to school, but still, we all perform these three universal truths within us. That the greed in many ways, with our bodily, verbally, mentally actions, we see it everywhere. And from morning to night, from babies to the elders, everybody always try to gain something towards them. And we all look for our own comfort, satisfaction, but at the same time, there are situations come when we get disturbed, disappointed, mad. There is an anger arise within us, and we react in many different ways to fulfill that anger. And of course, that when it comes to our deeper understanding, even though we see this kind of like the world very familiar around us, we know things, but by the time we recognize that is not exactly the truth. So then we have to look into ourselves, how we can get out of it rather than empowering it. Because around the world, every day we see everything provided, that all the facilities to develop this, the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So it's kind of like a circle. It's kind of like a waves. It's kind of like a river. It's kind of like a current. And we all in that current, and we perform things in many different ways, but the very root cause of these all actions come from the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So how it become powerful? It become powerful because of the repetition of the same action. So then you have to look into yourself and see, if you keep going with your bodily, verbally, mentally action, repeating it again and again and again, you will experience the life same like this. And not only that, there are another four things within this all living beings, very common, even though we are different on the very surface level. One is called Jivitukama. So that means everybody like to live. All living beings like to live. No one want to get out of this. And you like to live, and the other one is Amritukama. So Amritukama means you don't want to die. You are kind of like a be immortal. That somehow there is a dream to exist. Sukakama. So that means everybody like for the comfort, satisfaction, joy. Dukkha patikula, everybody resist unhappiness, unsatisfaction, and everybody is try to stay away from this. This four qualities also within us. So then remember, basically, we arise from three qualities: greed, hatred, and the delusion. And then once we have this life, then we have another four qualities belong to all of us. So whatever the religion, whatever the culture, tradition, nation, whatever the age, whatever the differences, it doesn't matter. This all similar. One is Jivatukama. You like for this life. Amritukama, you don't like to die. You like to be kind of like always to exist. Sukakama, you like for the comfort, happiness, satisfaction, joy. Dukkha patikula, you don't like kind of like suffering. So then, at the same time, there is a kind of like a stream that interconnected process or the path that we keep continue with this world. That is one thing is this physical body. It look like this, but look, from the babies to become like this, it's a process. It's a kind of like a stream. It's kind of like that interconnected process that happening each and every moment. It is a pattern. So your body has a pattern, keep building, 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 breaking down, building, breaking down, building. Sometimes we don't think about it. This is not the same body going to be tomorrow. And as you know, within every 7 years, entire this head to toes, each and every atom, all the muscles, the bones, everything become new. So you gain very complete new body by the time. So this physical pattern. And another one is, so the pattern of feelings, that also kind of like a current. So this pattern of feelings kind of like we hold it to it and have it's kind of like a developer desire to be with it. And the other one is this memory. related to our past. So that also kind of like a pattern, that also interconnected process. Or another way, it's a stream. And it keep continue, take us to tomorrow. So that's why whatever our memories, and we repeat, it's going to take us to tomorrow. Another one is the thoughts. So whatever we keep thinking again and again, we develop it. It's not the same thought, but it's the same interconnected process. Sometimes we say we are now matured, but that maturity transforms that little by little by the same kind of thoughts. And the next pattern is the consciousness. So it also like a stream, is also kind of like an interconnected process. So it's not the same consciousness. So there is no solid body. There is no solid, concrete, permanent body, feelings, memory, thoughts, or the consciousness. These all like waves. These all like clouds. These all like winds. These all like the water. Always waiting to move. Always waiting to flow. So what happened? That current that build up, wanting to flow, ignite our desires, and then we want to repeat it again and again and again. To repeat that because the strength comes from the roots level, greed, hatred, and the delusion. So then sometimes when we look at your physical body, the biologically how this build up, and you will see most of time it based with the greed or the hatred or the ignorance mostly. The most of this, the blood related to that. It's very rare that we have opposite side of it, like the loving kindness, the compassion, or the wisdom, kind of like that. So then it is your responsibility not to empower this current again and again and again, not to develop this process, or not to carry this pattern more and more and more. So you have to find out yourself a method to reduce this pattern and the feelings. So it's like a current. So then it is your responsibility. There is no solid, concrete, permanent feelings. It's always changing, moving. So then it is your responsibility. Rather than go with the feelings, reacting to feelings and recognize it. And the memory, rather than follow the memory, rather than empower the memory, rather than live with the memory, it is your responsibility to recognize that whatever you remembered, not going to be there tomorrow unless you yourself repeat it. If you don't repeat that, it's not going to be there. So then you are responsible for your own memory. So you are responsible to find a new path yourself. So that's why you always have to have the openness. And the thoughts. There are many other ways that you can be a different person by changing your thoughts. But most of the time we don't want to do that. We are so addicted to the way we think. We are so greedy to our own thoughts. As our thoughts, that whatever things good and we like for that thoughts, and whatever there are thoughts, we hate that things. And at the same time, the whatever certain kind of thoughts related to ignorance. We still carry this all, but that all you can change. You can, that's why parents send the children to schools. So because when you learn new words, new methods, new patterns, when you learn means you gain, you open to new thoughts. So once you have new thoughts, the way you think start to change. So then remember, whatever you carry as thoughts today, as who you are, you can change once you learn more better version of that same meaning of the words. So then give a chance yourself, rather than repeating, and start to change the definition of the word, the very frame of the window that you keep looking. And then you will see something new. That is your responsibility. That is what called practice. And the consciousness. This consciousness also, not solid, concrete, permanent, something that we carry. It's deeply changed, but that change happened related to the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So this is the only similar thing that we all have. So then always remember yourself. If you follow that way, if you keep doing the thing, then you belong to this world and you become like others and you keep going this way. There's no way that you can escape from this. Then what you need to do, very first thing, you have to have the intention to change. For that, you have to recognize what you experience. Because you are belong to this physical body, take you that whatever, that it holds the power. The feelings, like a current, take us. Memory is kind of like a stream, it's hold us. And there are some people, they can't get out of the memory. They live for the memory. And thoughts, and sometimes there are thoughts. When that thoughts arise, we can't do anything. We are helpless. We just surrender to that. So that's mean, even the consciousness, there are some things that arise to us in that very moment. We lose everything. We lose all we know, and we get into that conscious idea. So then what's the point? What do you mean by the life then? So if your greed, when the greed arises, if you go out of the control, if the anger arises, if you go out of the control, or if you lose your peace, or if you lose your balance, when the ignorance arises, when the not knowing arises, if you go out of the balance, how you going to be happy? Because then whatever that happiness, not sustainable, that whatever that happiness not going to be there. And then how you can claim this life as yours? Because you surrender to the greed, you surrender to the hatred, you surrender to the jealousy, ignorance. People go, to temple, and people come to temple, do things, and after praying everything, and once the food is ready, forget about whatever the pray. Oh, then your greediness start to become more stronger than what you learn. And you go to the church. Look at the Sunday morning, after the prayers, after the church, So what happened? You go to IHOP, McDonald's, like that, places around the church, you will see everybody go and eat, eat, eat. And in case sometimes if the waiter kind of like, made a mistake, then you get mad about that. After you pray, you go and you can go look around Sunday, around 11, 12. So what we learn? So everywhere the same. So even sometimes, like when situations come to us with our very close people, when things go wrong, sometimes we get so mad, disappointed, anger arises. So then you have to be very careful. That's mean still the roots are there, even though on the surface level you live like this. So our purpose is going to that and uproot it. Uproot the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So that should be your purpose in certain way, that when you practice one thing. So then with sitting, still that you can develop this all. Just by sitting, just by being silent and developing your awareness, you can uproot this all the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So once you start to sit and settle down, and maybe it start to little bit make kind of like a discomfort. So then all the good comfort start to remember. Maybe you're sitting and start to practice crossing your legs, and then you start to feel kind of like, oh, it is better I stretch my legs. Oh, it is better I sit on the chair. Oh, it's better I have just little bit back support. So like that. So whatever the comfort start to arise, and it's related to the body and related to the feelings and memory, and now thoughts arising, and take conscious decision. Oh, I'm going to stop this. So the greediness get the help out of the body, feelings, memory, thoughts, and take a conscious decision. Then you change. And then in case if you don't take that one, sometimes that your own pain, own discomfort, you start to get mad, angry, disappointed. So in that way also, same thing, the body, your anger, use the body, use the feelings, use the memory, and use the thoughts. And then you take a conscious decision and you think, I hate these feelings. I hate this pain. And then the ignorance or the not knowing reasons. So whatever arising with us, sometimes we don't see why this happened. So then we think something else and we take decision on the top of that, what we think. And then we keep continue deeply, then we have a bond related to our own thoughts. That's why this journey never going to end. So once you come to practice, then just settle down, let the body to settle down, and don't react because of your whatever the thoughts says. You take a very conscious decision and you know what to practice, and you be there. At least 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And so whatever that the irritation or the difficulties come, you don't resist. You go into it, you go with it. Let it be, and then you will see. And if you don't know why this happened like this way, you don't stay away from it. You wait and you become more sharp and clear and observe it, observe it. But most of time what happens when we don't know something, our mind says, stay away, go, don't go, don't go. That's why even children, sometimes when they go to school, some children and escape from the school. When that subject is difficult, or maybe they can't read, they can't learn, they escape from the school. They don't want to be in that time. Because when you don't know, it always, you go away. So like that, if there is something you don't know and the doubt arises and the mind kind of like a start to go roller coaster, don't worry, just keep observe, keep observe. So that way, by the time you reduce this, the very roots level of power within the greed, hatred, and the delusion. And then by the time the reaction to this, the body start to slowly cut, disconnect, and reacted to this greed, hatred, and the delusion to your feelings start to disconnect. And for your memory, it start to disconnect from the greed, hatred, and the delusion. Thoughts start to disconnect, and the consciousness disconnect from the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So that will help you to uplift your awareness. And once the awareness is there, loving kindness, compassion, and empathy, it's very easily you can develop. How it going to develop? Once this greed, hatred, and the delusion disconnect, what happens? You start to see how things come to be as they are. And that is the wisdom. And once you see how things come to as they are, you recognize these things happen because of many other things. And that is where you become a more humble person. That's where you start to respect yourself for others. So in that way, you're never going to do any harm to anybody. And one time Buddha mentioned it called Attupanaika Dhamma. So Attupanaika Dhamma means, so when you deeply connected to this Dharma, that you recognize we all carry this greed, hatred, and the delusion, and we all have the patterns and interconnected process with this physical body, feelings, memory, thoughts, consciousness. What you start to understand, how you transform. So Attupanaika Dhamma means, Atta means you. Upanaika is kind of like you become an example to you. And then you follow them. So as example, you Jivitu Kama, you like to live. So then you're never going to destroy someone else's life. So you always provide that to others. You provide the life to others. Now you live, you are the Dharma. So whatever you like, you do things to others. Whatever you don't like, you don't do to others. And Amritu Kama, you don't like to die. So then you don't kill. And Sukha Kama, so you like the comfort, satisfaction. So then you're not going to disturb to others and take their satisfaction away. then you provide that. Dukkha patikula, so you don't like the unsatisfaction, suffering, you don't like the pain. So then you're not going to do it to others. So you are the Dharma. And you become the example to you, and following yourself, then you provide your life to others. So that is the highest level of this transformation. So then every day, how you can practice? Of course, by sitting, you can practice meditation, but in day-to-day life, then how you can practice this? So then remember yourself with your bodily, verbally, mentally actions. If you don't like something, don't do it to others. So whatever your comfort, and give that comfort to others. At least try to not to disturb to others. So in that way, little by little, you expand your awareness. You expand your understanding, and you slowly uproot the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So it is your own responsibility. No one can do it to yourself. So then every day with every action, watch yourself deeper, go into that, and never give a chance to greed, hatred, or the delusion. If you see it, if you don't see it, you can't do anything. But if you see it, as soon as possible, take action to develop the loving kindness, compassion, and the wisdom in you. So in that way, you will see, by the time you transform your physical body, your feelings, your memory, your thoughts, your consciousness, completely going to transform to different level. So that is what another way we call freedom. So you become free from your own body, you become free from your own feelings, you become free from your own memory, you become free from your own thoughts, you become free from your own consciousness. And another thing is, when your body, feelings, memory, thoughts, consciousness not work for the greed, hatred, and the delusion, that is where you gain the true freedom. So it is possible. So give yourself opportunity for yourself to experience that. And continue practice little by little. And when the day you experience that higher frequency, then you will see how these things come to be as they are. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopatveva, oh, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens through the sensation, recognize it. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. Your backside. Your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ettavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya Dhammanudhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammam Pujemi Sangham Pujemi Addaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Paribunjisami Idamme Punya Kammang Asavakkaya Vaham Hotu Sabba Dukkha Pamunchatu. Bless you.